Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first video post with a flip through of the first creative journal that I made. I completed a year's journaling in 2023 but did not complete the cover and binding until just several days ago. I'm a retired teacher and a writer. I live in the southern part of New Mexico in the U.S. in a small collegiate town called Las Cruces. The town is sandwiched between the Organ Mountains to the east and the Rio Grande River to the west. We have limited amount of stores that we can get journaling supplies from, so I've elected to use materials and supplies that are readily available to us. I love to repurpose materials and also use supplies that I already have. I'm not a professional artist, but I love to draw, paint, and create textile arts. I love to learn new skills. Creative journaling is a venue which is most suitable for me. I hope to share what I have learned in creative journaling through this channel. I've learned so much from others, especially from YouTube creators. I hope to learn from you also. Please post a comment for any suggestions or just to say hello. This do-it-yourself journal is made from a frozen pizza cardboard box, leftover fabrics from past projects, supermarket stationery and art supplies, and all necessary tools were purchased previously from Walmart Supercenter in our town. This decorative swatch is a slow-stitched project made from leftover sewn garments. These stitches are simple running stitches that are made for the pleasure of hand sewing. At the upper left-hand corner, I embroidered the year 2023, the year this journal was made, and at the bottom right-hand corner, I embroidered the year 65, indicating my age when I made this journal. This is a closer look at the binding of the journal, where you could see the strands of threads that I used. It's not perfect, but I love the handmade look. This is the back view of the journal. It's very simple. It doesn't have any ornament. The only ornament that you can see are the two buttons that holds the ties, and these are mismatched buttons. I hand sewed these two mismatched buttons into the ties, and I like the look of the mismatched buttons because it does give it a more customized appearance. Here's the side opening of the journal, where the ties are made to keep the cover closed. The ties can be adjusted to accommodate the thickness of the journal. These ties are made of the same cotton fabric as the cover, but cut in the vertical position. Here's a closer view of the journal ties. I raveled all the edges by pulling the threads from the warp and weft directions. The frayed edges adds to the custom look of the journal. Let's loosen the ties and take a look at my first journal. Behind the cover, I glued on a calico print material, and this one I cut and extended beyond the binding, and that is to cover the gap between the binding of the cover and the signature that has this watercolor of a goldfish. And this watercolor in the first page is my very first attempt on watercolor drawings. These are goldfish that are about 15 years old at the time that I made this drawing. The back page is also a watercolor drawing, but I made the fish just kind of peek from the side. And the rest of it is just blank with some watercolor effects on it, but it's just plain. And the next page has a sticker in there that's made of a zinnia drawing and just text explaining the front page. The next page is a minnow watercolor drawing. There's 3 in here: side view, the top view, and another side view. I've always wanted to see what minnows look like close up, so when we had an opportunity to have minnows in a vacant tank, I bought them, though they were marked as feeder fish, but I like them the way they are. This page contains notes of my hair color. These yellow flip pages are sewn together and glued onto the page with a strip of fabric. The strip of fabric serves as a hinge for the mini pages. It serves as a booklet within a page. The center signature page is sewn together to the instruction page from the box. I've cut out a box photo and secured the edges by sewing a strip of gingham fabric at the edges. The written text at the right-hand side describes how my husband and I came about to cutting each other's hair. At the top of the page is a sticker of a zinnia drawing that I've made. This zinnia drawing I cut out and glued to this page, and then I added the leaves with pencil, and that's colored pencil, that is. These next 2 pages contain Christmas cards from some of my childhood friends from Los Angeles, and we've been friends since childhood years, so it was quite a long time. But still, we keep in touch, sending greeting cards during the holiday season, though we are also friends at Facebook. Then this next set of pages, the 2 pages here, I have dinnerware illustrations from the dinnerware that I purchased with the salary that I got from my first full-time job. This particular set was made in England. It is called Blue Nordic by Johnson Brothers, and this set is no longer made or manufactured in England, and also the store that I purchased these sets, they are now closed. There were several branches, but they are now closed. The next page shows these are packaging that I sewed into paper, and this is from a beer battered fish fillet, and we made our own sandwiches, and that is because at this time the favorite place that we used to take out fish sandwiches from, that was already closed. But we actually made ahead because these sandwiches that we made cost a whole lot less, about $1 each, as compared to the sandwiches that were already pre-made. And here on the next page, I made some notes on cost of takeout and how much American families spend. And it's just statistical data that I got from the internet. And it shows in here how much expenditures the household actually spend. I also got this advertisement from Arby's for the fish sandwiches that was advertised for $2, no, not $2, but 2 for $7. This page contains a tear or torn tissue paper that I pasted onto the page, and here I took the time to see how much it would cost for us to make our own coffee and we costed it as a nickel per cup. And the next page here shows my notes on making pulled pork sandwiches at home with a green salad and potato chips, drinks, and coffee. And I used the label for the masterpiece barbecue sauce that my husband likes the best. And this page here shows the new form that our state requires of business licenses. And then this page shows, this is Walgreens, our pharmacy here, that gives out the free kits to test for COVID. And I made a pocket here to show the information on COVID. I also made a sketch of the mask that I wore. This was one of my husband's work masks, and there was a shortage of masks that filters a lot of germs. I believe this is the N95, and this was hard to get. And I sewed up the ties to it. And here on the subsequent page, more packaging. And then this one here, this is the correspondence I received from the Social Security office when I turned 65. This one lists your benefits, the benefits that you have contributed to in your working years of up to 35 years. Here, I also made some sketches of paper dolls. I thought it needed some color, so I went ahead and sketched it, ink it, and then also used colored pencil to color the pages. And here's more packaging or labels from ready-made spaghetti sauce. It is very helpful when you have to cook at home all the time. And also there was a shortage of onions, bunching onions that is, and this sketch here, a watercolor drawing, were the onions that we grew from our garden. And it looks really beautiful, especially when you can't buy it in the supermarket or without it. The next page here shows a mallard duck. Saw some at the pond, and I sketched one of them. He was very colorful. Another page there of a quick meal. And then this page over here is a lifetime senior pass that we also got from a ranger station in the forest. And I've got a sketch here of the sweater that I bought from Walmart. And this was one of the first items that I bought after the pandemic, but this one I needed. And here on this two subsequent pages, I basically sat down and estimated how much the health insurances will cost us with my turning 65 and my insurance turning over for Medicare for my primary insurance carrier. It shows that we actually pay more at Medicare turning 65 at retirement years compared to when I was working and my employer paid for part of my insurance. Here on this page, you'll see that I experimented with paper dolls. I thought this would be one of the quick ways that I can put an illustration on a page, especially if I'm in a hurry. And this one does work very well, and it's kind of fun. It's like playing again as a child making paper dolls. This one will come in handy if I'm not inspired to sketch or cut any ads or be creative that much, and I can just use the paper dolls here. I have instructions there also. I bought myself an American Girl doll for my birthday to dress and also decorate the house with. I use it for our table centerpiece. For my birthday, we had shrimp for dinner, so I sketched the shrimp in here and experimented with my watercolor. And also here, I had a Black Forest cake for my birthday with one candle, and so that one I also sketched and placed it in the pages here about my birthday. And then this fold-out sheet here was a big surprise in terms of the utility bill from our city, because the rate of increase for the utility bill was 67% higher than the year before. So that was a really big surprise. Inside that bill was this rationale about the rising natural gas prices. Also, our refrigerator died, so we bought a new one. I sketched it in there. And then there's a space here that I put the best bargain in town, which is the angel hair spaghetti at 98 cents a box. Here on this side, I also stitched down onto the page the label or packaging of the ramen noodle. Is also good and handy if you just want a quick meal with vegetables. And here is one of the vegetables we grow in the garden, which is the Italian kale. This is a new one for us. And the leaves here are so colorful. It's got this bright green color with lavender at the center. And we actually bought this seed packet not knowing what it would look like grown, because the store was out of the regular kale seeds. But it turned out to be really fantastic. It tasted well as a bonus. And here is Albertsons Best Deals. This is one of our supermarkets, and I just cut out their ad. And we did buy this. In the next page, you also see the prices of their specials, and they were very well priced. So I cut this in to see if there will be changes later on. And here is a seed packet of the zinnia plant that we grow in our garden, and it's now blooming. And there are also seedlings that are coming up. One other best advertising for Albertsons is this $1.97 a pound chicken breast from their meat counter, and it was a really good deal. So I bought quite a bit of it and put it in the freezer. And also, I actually made my own recipe of a Chinese version style, but using spaghetti instead of the noodles. And here at the far upper right-hand corner, I took the sticker from the ginger and also used it to decorate the page. But I always put a little note, says quick meals. On the next page here, we had a cushion that was already torn, so I took the leftover fabrics that were not worn as much, and then I made napkins with it for the table, because the paper products in our supermarkets are now very scarce. So by using what you have that's made of cloth and making table napkins, that really helps out. Here on the next page, I did a sketch and put watercolor on a grackle. We visited that pond, and there were a lot of grackles, and they were fun to watch. And also we saw a couple fishing at the university pond, and it was very calm and picturesque that day that I elected to sketch it. Here in the next page, you'll find a watercolor also of a claret cactus. We found it growing in the wild. We have a lot of cactus here in New Mexico, and it was very, very colorful. The colors are actually very, very bright. This next page was an inspirational article from AARP magazine, and it talked about how you reinvent yourself when you retire, and that was a good one. And also in the same magazine, it talked about how leftover working clothes can be culled and given away or discarded. In my case, I didn't do that, although I dress with suits on, because I taught in the college level. I didn't discard it the way that this article suggested. I just cut off the collar and also the sleeves and made a vest out of it. I wear it with tennis shoes and more dressy t-shirts, and that will do for my casual get around. Then here we have the stickers from the banana, and I sketched the banana as well, or bananas. They're basically the only fruit that's reliable in terms of having it available for the public. We have shortages on fruit products, so bananas are a really good stand-in, and the price fluctuate from 75 cents to 25 cents. It's a big difference, but stores are running specials on it. We visited a new housing project and looked at comparable houses to our own, and this one is a sketch of our house. And to our surprise, they had flyers, and the equivalent to our house that we paid $69,000 in 1990, it is now equivalent to $360,000, and the architecture of the house is very boxy. It doesn't have much embellishments on the building, but we thought that was just so expensive. So we're just going to be staying in our old house. It was built for us in 1990, so it was brand new. So we're just going to stay in. These prices are very, very high. These watercolors are made from a town that we visited, and this is a nearby town, and it is historical, and I really like this courthouse with the American flag on the top. And robins were running all over the place, and I also sketched a robin. And then they have this water tower that placed the name of the town, which is called Deming. And here is my notation on our container garden this year. The containers you cannot get in the garden center, so we use a food grade sets of buckets, and also there's a morning glory seedling in there. The kale also flowered, so we actually let them flower, some of them that is, because we wanted to get the seeds and plant it for next spring. We didn't get the seeds because the birds beat us to them. And here's a crab apple sketch. I really love the colors of green and red, so I sketched that one as well. And here are more cuttings or clippings of specials at Albertsons. It's just good to compare prices later on. Here are the zinnia stickers that I made for myself. I sketch and color it on a watercolor paper and then cut them out. Here's another quick meal idea. We bought some fried chicken breasts and then bought canned bush beans and then serve it with the green salad, and that has done okay. And then the next page here, I experimented with watercolors on just plain paper, but this one here I notated and put in sketch drawings, watercolor drawings with a rattlesnake that we encountered on one of our hikes. He was a really, really beautiful creature. He was rattling, but we're always on the lookout for rattlesnakes because we have it here in the American Southwest. He was a really beautiful creature, really beautiful, but of course deadly. And I noted his appearance on a video camera with full magnification because you don't want to get near those rattlesnakes. They have a good striking range. And I had problems with some of my caps for my teeth, the root canaled ones, so I had to go see a surgeon to have them removed and have implants done. And that also has the cooperation and the supervision of the dentist as well as the physician, because this is a surgery procedure and it is a serious matter. And here I still have some clippings of additional ads later on from Albertsons, and my zinnia flowers are blooming. There's a vulture there, or what we call turkey buzzard, that I also saw in one of our picnics. Here I noted some notes from the garden, and over here more of Albertsons specials on this page, and I did take a flyer and then folded it and put it in this envelope. This envelope is actually a handout from the dentist office. They usually put gifts in here like miniature toothbrushes, toothpaste, and other dental things that you can use. On the next page here, I just had stickers I made for myself and also sketch this shopping cart. And these are also glued onto the page, and then I added the leaves with colored pencils. They look pretty nice. And then I put a Walmart receipt here because later on I can compare prices with the other prices from different dates. And here's another ad that's really good on the beef at $2.97 a pound. That was a good buy. And then I sketched the super moon that came out in August. And of course here you can see the trees. They don't have any more leaves. They have shed it because it had gotten cold. But that super moon was really magnificent. And as it rose on the mountains, you could really see that very close. So I noted that one, did a watercolor on that. Then here are just notes with paper dolls in there that I pasted on. More ads from Albertsons. And here I found a white-winged dove feather and I sewed it onto a lavender print-out sheet and also had lace overlay in it. It looks very, very nice. And I thought that the dove feather is a really good one to stitch down on the page. And here is the cutouts. I have made cutouts on houses, and here on a pull-out I put the bill for the taxes for the house. It arrived in November. They always send these taxes in November before you can spend your December gift money on. And this one was from the county. We have to pay taxes for the house for the following year at the end of the year, and I believe that's $391.08. And I made a sketch of the keys that we have for the house, and it just reminds us on how much we don't own the house really, because if you fail to pay, then they can confiscate your home. Here is another sketch of the moon in November, and this one has the pine trees in front of it. I also sketch a turtle here and places to see. I have not been to Jupiter, Florida, and I believe they have a turtle rescue center there. It would be nice to see them. These are just sketches here that I pasted onto a page. And here on this black and white graph, I did a computer analysis of where we spent our funds, with the house paid for and a car paid for. The first one here is the medical insurances and other fees not covered by medical ones. This is notes on Thanksgiving, and this particular sketch or illustration on this napkin I really found to be very beautiful. So I pasted onto the page here. That's the napkin that we used for this Thanksgiving. And here are just additional side dishes. I just put the labels in there. And then this one here, I decided I wasn't going to buy any more fresh flowers for the table. They're getting really expensive, so I elected to learn how to use paper flowers. And here are templates of the paper flowers that I'm using for my tablescapes. And at the beginning and the end of this presentation, the flowers that are with the pine needles, those are not real flowers. Those are paper flowers made of tissue paper. I just don't want to pay high prices for table decoration at this time of the year. And here are pine trees that I illustrated as a Christmas tree. We used only table size, about 2 feet or lower or smaller. because we didn't put up the big tree. And here we have also our traditional Christmas dinner with turkey, and I sketched that turkey over there and also took out the labels and put it in this journal. And I also made a sketch here of the sparkling cider, took the labels and used that also for the journal. Here's the strawberry dessert. This is Jello, and then notations on Christmas. And here on the subsequent pages, I looked at statistics of expenditures in the U.S. and compared our expenses to it to see how we fare and how we are doing in terms of financial situations. We're doing well. And here at the left side of the page, I have cutaways in here of samples of the fabrics I used for the cover page, which is the slow stitch panel. And then I put a signature of addendum and endnotes, since I'm using this journal as a touchstone for other journals later on. And I added this addendum so I can put out more information that I have not included before. And this one here is basically a recap that I found in terms of expenditures of Americans for the year 2023. And basically this is AI's response. And then here, more notes here. This is a birthday card that's sent to my husband on his birthday by our local bank. And this is the first time we saw them send birthday greeting cards to depositors. This is probably because we're having hard times and there are less depositors than those that withdraw funds from their banks. So it was interesting to see. So this one I saved. On these following pages, I made my own stickers, and I basically draw and color the black-eyed Susans and coneflowers that grew in our garden, and also notes on how I made the cover for this journal. And this is just regular paper, which I drew with ink and then colored it with fine markers. And there's two more stickers of coneflowers that I also sketched. And then more added notes, but I did change the position of the coneflowers here, and more of medical notes that I skipped on my observations in the previous contents. I added dots in the stickers because he just looks so bare with that white background. And here I shifted from coneflowers to black-eyed Susans. And these grew very well in our backyard because we are in the American Southwest, and these flowers are native to the United States. And here's another envelope, and this one contains orders for the wellness check from my physician's office, and I just made a copy and put it there. And then I put a little fold out here. This journal belongs to, and I have my card inside in there. And then at the parameters, I just basically sketched the coneflowers and also the black-eyed Susans, and I repeated those sketches all over just towards the middle of the back pages, and that way the pages don't look too blank. So this is the end of the presentation of this journal. Making and writing this creative journal was an enjoyable experience. I'm going to make some tutorials in my next post. Have a great 2025, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.